Hello and welcome to BIS Talks. The invention of wheel was a turning point in the development of mankind. It bestowed ease to the idea of transportation by making innovative machines which evolved with each passing day. In the 17th and 18th century, many new modes of transportation, both motorized and non-motorized, like carts, bicycles, motor cars and trains were invented. In 1897, the first car ran on Indian road, but it was not until 1942 that the first car was manufactured in India. In 1952, the Government of India formalized the automobile sector and soon a formidable automotive industry emerged. In 1953 and 1961, the aviation and the shipping industries too were formalized. To supplement these developing industries, thousands of component manufacturers and service providers emerged with time that are now helping to make Bharat Atmanirbhar. Today, transportation industry is a key component in the economy of our country. In such a diverse scenario, the need for standardization and benchmarking in the manufacturing of components and services is well defined. To ensure commonality and quality control in the transportation industry, the Bureau of Indian Standards formed Transport Engineering Department or TED to formulate and monitor the standardization in these sectors. Mr. R.R. Singh, head of the TED, speaks about the structure and working of the department.
Transportation is very vital and important driver for economic development and growth of any country. Standardization in the various areas of transportation helps to implement transport services that are sustainable and that address the population's needs. Transport Engineering Department of Bureau of Indian Standards has been playing an important role by formulating standards in almost all aspects of transportation to ensure safe and efficient mobility. At Transport Engineering Department, we look forward to supporting a safe and sustainable transportation sector with the help of standards that combine experience from the past with fresh new outlook on how we can transform the way we travel and transport for the better. To enhance the use of standards, BIS has made provisions so that all the indigenous standards can be freely downloaded from the BIS website. The manufacturers, test agencies, consumers and student community is requested to use the standards in their respective fields of interest.
Transport Engineering Division Council or TEDC of BIS is a council which deals in standardization in the field of transport engineering, including air, water, road and rail transport, diesel engines for stationary application, freight containers, transport packaging, etc. The chairperson of TEDC, Srimati Rashmi Urdhavarshe, speaks about the working and concerns of the Transport Engineering Division Council.
With the objective of having an integrated approach for standardization in the transportation, TDC deals with wide range of subjects, automobiles to aerospace, marine technology to bicycles, and from freight containers to packaging. TDC is indeed fortunate to have a large pool of experts from industry, research organizations, testing houses, and others. These experts put in a great deal of collective effort and expertise in formulating the standards.
The scientists of Transport Engineering Department, along with the industry experts of the technical committees, formulate standards in various fields of transport engineering which are useful for the manufacturers, service providers and the consumers.
Transport Engineering Department of BIS has formulated standards broadly in the areas of automobiles, industrial trucks and trailers, shipping and marine technology, aviation, intelligent transport system and electric vehicles. Let's have a look at these standards in these areas one by one. BIS has formulated more than 400 standards related to automotive sector. Some of the important standards are on engine and engine components, brakes and braking systems, suspension systems, tires, tubes and rims, and electrical systems.
Now let us talk about some of the standards in detail. Do you know? Cylinder is the power unit of the engine. This is where the fuel is burned and converted into mechanical energy that powers the vehicle. It contains a piston that moves up and down, compressing the fuel which ignites and causes combustion. A cylinder liner is one of the most important functional parts to make up the interior of an engine. It serves as inner wall to the cylinder and forms a sliding surface for the piston rings. A poor cylinder liner results in wear and tear of piston rings, escape of compressed gas, and poor transfer of the heat to the coolant. BIS generated Indian standards specify technical supply conditions for dry and wet type cast iron cylinder liners applicable to internal combustion engine working on 2-stroke and 4-stroke cycles. The standard specifies definitions and requirements related to material, hardness, surface finish, and microstructure related to cylinder liners. The standard also specifies requirements related to dimensions and forbearance, peculiarity, parallelism, etc. because assembly of both the cylinder and the liner involves precision. Now let us talk about radiators. Most of us know about the radiator, which is actually a heat exchanger. It transfers the heat from the fluid inside to the air outside, thereby cooling the fluid, which in turn cools the engine. Owing to the need of its effective functioning, it is strategically mounted in a position where it receives maximum airflow during the forward movement of the vehicle. The radiator, which passes the various tests specified by BIS, ensures efficient transfer of heat from coolant, effective cooling of engine, and prevention of damage to engine due to overheating. We use horn to alert others about the presence of our vehicle on the road. Sound emanated by electric horn has to be within audible limits specified under IS 1884-1993. Owing to the role of the horn, the Indian standards specify mechanical, electrical and acoustical requirements and methods of testing for electric horns for use in motor vehicles. The standard specifies terminology, types and classification of horns, dimensions and performance related tests such as high voltage test, dust test, current draw test, operating voltage range test, vibration test, continuous operation test, sound pressure level test, and water sealing test. Safety glazing standard plays an important role in vehicle safety. Standards for glass in vehicles define the specification for use of glass and glazing in vehicles. Good quality safety glazing ensures adequate transmittance of light and a clear, undistorted field of vision. Use of any substandard safety glazing material in the vehicle could be harmful to the vehicle and its occupants. Using standard glass ensures that in case of any mishap, the windscreen and other glazing should not form a possible source of injury to the occupants. Tires of substandard quality may endanger the safety of vehicle, passengers, and the goods being transported by the vehicle. Many tests are conducted to ensure the ability of the tires to provide resistance to sharp protruding objects while traveling. In other words, a good tire has less chance of getting punctured as compared to a substandard one. A test for tubeless tire of passenger cars ensures that the bead of the tire remains intact while cornering. There's also a test for load speed performance to check the ability of the tire to perform at high load and speed conditions. These tests are mandatory for ensuring that the tires operate effectively under long duration running of the vehicle. Trucks running on these unending roads bring goods and essentials to us from far off places. The goods are packed in large containers and transported all over the world. To ensure that goods reach their destination safely, BIS has prescribed test conditions for the stability of trucks with and without load handling attachments. The stability of trucks equipped with tilting or non-tilting masts or fork arms having a rated capacity up to and including 5,000 kilograms are tested and verified. To increase the stability and make the load handling vehicles safe, Transport Engineering Department has been working on certain important designs and published some standards for the test methods.
IS 12056 covers the safety requirements for the integrity and security of fuel tanks, fuel tank filter pipes and fuel tank connections used on automotive vehicles to minimize the fire hazard resulting from fuel spillage during and after crash or collision. This standard applies to passenger cars, multi-purpose passenger vehicles, trucks and buses. This standard belongs to a sectional committee which deals with automotive body, chassis, accessories, garage equipment, springs and suspension systems. IS 15715 specifies the definitions, test methods and requirement of conduit, that is ventilation hose, of CNG onboard fuel system components intended for use on motor vehicles. This standard is applicable to CNG fuel system components intended to be used on vehicles using compressed natural gas, that is monofuel or bifuel applications. IS 16903 specifies the requirements and dimensions of space and strength of the seats for both driver and the passenger and their anchorages for passenger vehicles of category L7, M2, M3 and N category goods vehicle as well as for quadricycles. This standard is prepared by the technical committee which works on the passive safety crash protection system. IS 15487 specifies the requirements for the indicator lights to show the status of freight container handling spreaders and grappler arms. This standard is applicable to container handling spreaders with twist locks for handling unleaded and laden freight containers as well as for grappler arms for handling semi-trailers and the swap bodies when fitted to counterbalanced lift trucks, single side loading trucks, rough terrain trucks and the variable reach trucks.
Well, another important mode of transportation is through the sea route. Gigantic boats and vessels have been used for traveling and transportation of goods for centuries. But now, we have modern and sophisticated ships, so the standards in maritime sector have also been formulated. Standardization work relating to ships and their systems, accessories and fittings, machinery and equipment for fishing vessels and trawlers, testing procedures, auxiliaries required for the operation of main propulsive machinery, winches, windlasses and steering gears, system and engineering for firefighting, fire protection and detection, magnetic and gyro compasses and connected items, instrument for chart work, auto alarm and auto keying devices have also been standardized. Now let's listen to Shri Sharad Kumar, Member Secretary, for more details on the subject.
IS 14747 for lifts on ships lays down specific requirements for the design, installation and inspection of lifts on ships. The lifts in a ship are specially designed to withstand all shipboard conditions such as adverse weather, humidity, rolling and pitching. The standard covers requirements for landing door, car and counterweight and electrical machine. Requirements related to safety circuits like communication, lights, alarm system, and means of escape during emergency have also been specified. IS 15846 for anchors. An anchor is used to connect a vessel to the bed of a water body to prevent the vessel from drifting due to wind or current. This standard gives information on how the anchors are classified, their shapes and dimensions. The standard also specifies the mass, grades of material from which the anchor should be made of, and various tests which are needed to be carried out on an anchor to check its suitability for different types of ships. IS 13632 for marine gyro compasses. A gyro compass has become an indispensable instrument in almost all naval and merchant vessels for its ability to detect the direction of true north and not the magnetic north. A gyro compass is a form of gyroscope employing an electrically powered fast spinning gyroscope wheel. It utilizes the basic physical laws, influence of gravity and the earth's rotation to find the true north. The standard specifies construction performance requirements and type testing of gyro compasses. General tests like voltage and frequency variation test, vibration test, temperature test have also been specified. The availability of a gyro compass is also mandated under International Convention Safety of Lives at Sea. IS 6685 for life jackets. Life jackets are designed to assist a wearer to keep afloat in water. It is used for providing a means of safety for all persons whose occupation or recreation is connected with water. The standard specified design requirements, sizes, requirements related to buoyancy, buoyant material and their protection. The standard specifies tests related to strength, visibility, audibility and other tests for life jackets suitability. The standard incorporates requirements under Indian acts and rules. Requirements of international conventions like IMO resolutions and safety of lives at sea rules and regulation have also been covered. IS 3732 for rigid life rafts. Life raft is one of the life-saving appliances which is required to be fitted on board ships and it is designed to carry persons in water. The standard gives information about general requirements and construction details of a life raft. It also specifies requirements related to mass of a life raft, its carrying capacity, the fittings and the type of equipment to be made available on a life raft. Requirements related to its stability and access into the life raft in sea have also been specified. The standard incorporates requirements under Indian acts and rules. Requirements of international conventions like IMO resolutions and safety of lives at sea rules and regulations have also been covered.
Aviation sector has undergone a transformation over the years. The standards of systems, accessories, fittings, testing methods, performance requirements of aircraft and space vehicles, aircraft electrical and ground handling equipment have been formulated. Standardization in the field of unmanned aircraft system or UAS for usage in the monitoring of borders, forestry, fisheries, oil and gas pipelines and the delivery of cargo into orbit have also been formulated.
Approximately 150 standards have been formulated by BIS in the aviation sector. Some of the important standards are on air cargo equipment, numerals for aircraft, instrument dials and number plates, DC generators for aircraft, general requirements for aerospace bolts and nuts, aircraft safety belts, aircraft tires, rims, seat rails and pins.
Let's listen to the views of Shri Ravinder Beniwal, Member Secretary of Aerospace Sectional Committee.
I will explain the important standards in aerospace sector, like IS 10240 for general requirements of electrical equipments for aircraft. The safe and economic operation of an aircraft is becoming ever more dependent on electrical and electronic systems. Electrical equipment used in aircraft are subjected to special severities in actual service. This standard classifies the electrical equipment based on their ability to function satisfactorily under various conditions of temperature and pressure up to a certain altitude, climatic conditions, acceleration and vibration, and stipulates the respective requirements. It also stipulates tests for insulation resistance and radio interference of the equipment while prescribing the design requirements. Another standard IS 8252 is on environmental tests for aircraft equipment. This standard details climatic environments against which aircraft equipment should be designed and also defines climatic tests from which the necessary selection should be made to demonstrate that the equipment will be satisfactory for its operational environments. Although in practice almost infinite variety of environmental conditions may be encountered, depending on the class of aircraft and grade of equipment etc., it is considered highly desirable to group together standardized test conditions which when applied in a standard sequence will demonstrate the operational capability of an item of the equipment and yet as an aid to equipment manufacturers keep the number of grades to a minimum. This standard contains a schedule listing the tests and operational environments applicable to various equipment grades. We have one more standard IS 14431 on functional requirements of the airport passenger bus. This standard outlines the functional requirements of an airport passenger bus to be used on the airport ramp to transport passengers between the air terminal and the aircraft. The intent of the standard is not to specify equipment design but rather to define minimum functional and safety requirements and highlight those criteria which are known to be essential to an efficient and safe operation on civil transport aircraft in the environment of airports. Similarly, IS 10682 is on specification for aircraft safety belts. As you are aware, safety belts in aircraft are helpful in situations such as turbulence. This standard lays down the requirements for the design and fabrication of single occupancy lap type aircraft safety belt used in transport planes for passenger seats and berths. Material and design requirements and load and pull out tests are specified so that the design of the belt and the means of locking and release shall be such that it is adjustable in length and incorporates a quick release mechanism. For aerospace quality management system requirements, we have IS 16000. This standard specifies requirements for an aerospace quality management system where an organization needs to demonstrate its ability to consistently provide product that meets aerospace customer and applicable regulatory requirements. It mainly focuses on components of aerospace quality management system like management responsibility, product realization, measurement and analysis and improvement.
Electric cars operate using electric power. They have an electric battery that is used in running a motor which drives the cars. This type of vehicle facilitates substantial saving in fuel cost through the efficiency of the engine. Bureau of Indian Standards has formulated IS 17191 Part 123 2019 for effective and accurate measurement of energy consumption, range and power of electric vehicles.
IS 17191 is made by the sectional committee which deals with electric and hybrid vehicles. It is prepared in three parts, where part 1 specifies the methods of measurement of electrical energy consumption for electric powertrain, and similarly part 2 specifies the method of measuring the range, and part 3 talks about the measurement of net power and the maximum 30-minute power.
With the future getting smarter day by day, the role of standards has also to be smart. Transporting goods and people safely, efficiently and smartly is essential to keep pace with fast-changing future. To address this challenge, BIS is dedicated for development of standards on intelligent transport systems.
BIS has formulated about 20 standards in intelligent transport systems. Some of the important standards are on system architecture, electronic fee collection, road transport and traffic telematics, LED destination board system for buses, radio frequency identification system and road traffic safety management systems. Let's listen to Shri Balraj Bhanot for more information on the subject.
Intelligent transport system also plays a role in the general traffic management. Nowadays, the control of the signaling is done automatically. That means there is a fixed time. If one is able to control the timing depending upon the density of the traffic between the two signals, in that case there will be a better management of the traffic, and you can control the volume density also on the different tracks. Where there are no volumes, obviously the traffic management need not control the traffic signals. Where there is more density, the frequency can be enhanced. So you can have a better control of the traffic density also. So there are number of areas like that where ITS is now becoming important and will play a big role in the next decade. Entire safety and the management of the entire transportation, including the conveyance of the information on traffic information system, will also be conveyed through the mobile system or through the display system at various places for the general convenience of the people. And there will be a holistic approach in the total management of the traffic.
Let's talk about IS 16490-2016 for standards on LED destination board systems. Installation of destination boards with light emitting diode or LED display covered in this standard are very helpful in knowing route numbers and destination by the commuting public. Standards for LED destination board system for buses, which specifies the constructional and performance requirements and methods of test for LED destination board system or LDBS for use in all categories of buses and coaches have been developed by this committee for the benefit of the commuters. IS 16722-2018 is for radio frequency identification RFID system for automotive application, which highlights the basic architecture and test requirements of radio frequency identification tags and transceivers for electronic toll collection ETC application. This standard provides guidance on how to organize and implement smart transportation by digitally processed payment in order to provide a safe and convenient payment method for commuters. Another standard, IS 16833-2018 by this committee has been developed for Device and Integrated System or ATD, which defines the basic architecture and performance requirement of the automotive tracking systems. The standard covers the performance requirements of the automotive tracking device or ATD with an integrated emergency button system and other configurations or applications of ATD in different annexes as integrated emergency system and fare meter, CCTV system with inbuilt tracking system and integrated emergency system.
During the Nirbhay case, there was a problem. Some incident has happened in the country. Now regulation has been made that we introduce a vehicle tracking system in the buses. All activities which are going on in the bus can be remotely monitored. At any particular point, if any accident takes place, one can press a panic button which is available at every 1 meter or 1.5 meter in the bus. So passenger can just press it. All the activity of the bus, whatever is going on prior to the event and even after the event, is transmitted to the control room, who takes care of further necessary action to be taken about that bus.
What seemed impossible yesterday is now very much possible with access to today's technology and information systems.
Maintaining continuity of the standards formulated so far in contemporary areas of technology and acting proactively for contributing to the Atmanirbhar Bharat initiative of the Government of India, BIS has started working for the formulation of Indian standards for various components of hydrogen fuel cell electric vehicles such as hydrogen cylinder, automatic shut-off valve, thermally activated pressure relief device, check valve, fueling receptacle, pressure regulator, manual cylinder valve, gas injector and pressure relief valve, etc. The future focus of BIS will be on working consistently to ensure the safety and reliability of vehicles running on alternate fuels through standards on fuel system components for automotive vehicles using new and renewable energy sources such as bio-CNG, hydrogen-methane blend, biodiesel-diesel blend, alcohol-petrol blend, liquefied natural gas, dimethyl ether, etc. The standards formulated by BIS will ensure that the alternate fuel vehicles manufactured in India are at par with the global standards with respect to the fuel consumption, safety and cost effectiveness. At Bureau of Indian Standards, we are ever ready to take up any challenge related to the national standardization in any new and emerging technology.
The BIS e-governance portal, Manak Online, provides a comprehensive view of its activities including on standardization. This portal serves BIS Technical Committee members and also other users of Indian standards. Filters to view the aspect-wise Indian standards classified based on test methods, product specifications, codes of practices, etc. is also available. The list of Indian standards relevant to various ministries and departments can also be accessed online. Details of published Indian standards and draft standards open for public commenting are also available. Proposals can also be submitted through the portal to make new Indian standards. Details about the technical committees, members and their affiliations through Manak Online are just one click away.
By setting the standards right, BIS has ensured our safety in the past and the present times. It is committed to continue its efforts for keeping the nation safe in the future too. BIS, an organization in the service of the nation.